That's not going to work, is it? Yeah. Okay. Let me find another spot for you. Thought that was going to be too tricky. So much easier if I had a studio and a crew. We're getting there, we're getting there. We'll forego the black pudding, it's got a bit of a pungent aroma. I only found out yesterday when I was buying this that kippers are actually herrings. Herrings apparently don't have a very good name. My pan's too small. Shit. Herrings don't have a very good name, so they smoke them and call them kippers. Don't know why. It's probably like offal. They don't call it offal because it's full of nutritional value. The worst cuts of stuff, but they're usually better for you. So I jumped on that. I'll have to cut it in half, won't I? Do I have scissors? I do, but they're packed away deep. What else can I use? I've got my knife. See how that goes. I might have to cook it in twos, I think, this one. I'm in Welwyn. If people are familiar with this area, Welwyn Garden City, somewhere between Cambridge and London. For those that have been following the journey, would think I was still in London because I got from the north of England down to London just about a week ago. But I came back to Cambridge, not yesterday, the day before, to go and visit a supporter who was kind enough to let me use their address as a care of address. I had to go and pick up some stuff that was delivered and ordered there. And I set back off yesterday, and I was on the train actually. I was on the train back to London, but I got close to this area and I just came over all funny and strange. I'd never felt like that before, and I just had this overwhelming urge to get off the train, and this was the stop I got off at. So I found a supermarket, got some water, found an industrial area, which are always good spots to kip in, industrial spots, especially big complexes, you know, which is where I am at the moment. And hunkered down here last night, and I've been here ever since, and I'll probably stay here tonight as well. I've been collecting rainwater because I ran out of water, so I've got a few bottles there of water. I've got enough food to last me. I'm not exactly active today, so this and whatever else. I've still got plenty of these as well. I've still got about maybe 6 or 7 packets of the dehydrated meals, which are always good at a push. They all take about 300 mils to 500 mils of water, depending on which one you choose. One of the things I did pick up as well, somebody sent me these in the post. Somebody, I think they may have been in Ireland, I'm not too sure, and I forget the name as well unless I look at my email. But they're like just mix them with water, yeah, 150 mils of water, and it tops up your mineral supply and your macros and everything like that. So they're a good addition to the diet, these are. When you're living wild, certainly go down well during meals. It's not that hot, you know. I may have to use the gas, I think. I'm not sure. It is cold smoked, the kipper. Sorry, the herring is cold smoked, but it still needs cooking. It doesn't seem to be giving off a lot of heat. I do have a gas option. I might have to do that actually. 12 minutes on the meth burner, the spirit burner, is what it takes to heat up and boil a full jet boil. 12 minutes on the meth burner, as opposed to about 3 to 5 minutes on the official sort of jet oil gas fitting. Oh, we've got smoke coming out of there now. We might be alright, you know, we might be alright. Yeah, starting to get a bit of biz going on there. I did have some black pudding, but it smells a little bit, so I've forgone that. So is there anyone familiar with Welwyn Garden City? I think it's Wen. Oh, here we go, hold on. You can probably hear that in the background, eh? Gets a bit noisy. I had to put the earplugs in last night. It was a bit noisy. I didn't realise until I set up camp here that this was going on all night, that you can hear the shh, and then the compressor kicks in. Must be something to do with the business that's here, the businesses. Keeping lines pressurised is the only thing I can think of. It could be like, I don't know, trying to think what lines need to be kept up to pressure. Chiller lines, air compression, nitrogen, I don't know, I'm not sure. There's definitely some sort of hub that I'm at though that looks like a distribution hub, so they could distribute anything. Yeah, she's cooking alright now, that. Hear what, it smells pretty fine. The less bones, the better. Here's a good ASMR video for anybody that's into them. Deboning a fish whilst it's cooking. We might have to let that cook through on that side, I think, before I debone it. Be safe. Welling. Oh, Welling, not Welwyn. Okay, cool. Thank you for that, whoever you were. It's nice that you're chatting among yourselves. I love that. It's like my own little community when you can entertain yourselves, and I don't really need to say much. I just provide the entertainment, and you guys natter. Lovely. You're even having a laugh there. James is having a good ah-ha-ha. Nice one. And there's 136 of you doing it. Cheers, Danny. Oh, Danny Jack Jones is another regular. He's a big one on the channel. It's Danny Jack Jones. Yeah. I've been in the sleeping bag all day, so it's not so bad. Although I was stood on the cold concrete earlier collecting rainwater from the drain pipe just around the corner there. My rainwater collection system. Cut open bottles. It was weird. The Aldi that I went to, Aldi or Lidl, I always get them mixed up. They didn't do individual big bottles of water. They only had the big 6-pack. So you get like 12 litres of that. Just far too much for my overnighter or weekender. So I was forced to buy the individual ones for 45p a pop. But they soon went, with the amount of tea that I drink, they went blink of an eye. Well, let me flip these again. I'll see if I can get this backbone out. Look at that. It's been beautiful. Those are all the little individually ones. Actually, you know what? That's done a bloody good job just pulling that one out, taking everything with it. I lost my spork. I have bought a titanium sporky spoon thing that is no longer in my possession. I had this little bag open on the side of a little pouch on my backpack that comes around the waist where I just keep things. This is my old pack, my old kit, but I lost the spoon out of this, hence why I bought the titanium one. You know what? It doesn't have much of a smoky flavour. Oh yep, no, there's definitely a smoky after flavour. Quite nice is that actually. I'm not saying it's nice because I've cooked it to perfection, but whoever smoked it prior, and also the fishmonger at the market in Cambridge yesterday that sold it to me on recommendation and told me the information about herrings and kippers and why they're called kippers, and not having a very good name. All I've done is put a bit of heat into it. So the fishmonger there, and the majority that think herrings are lower tier fish, as he told me. Maybe because of the bone situation. It does have a lot of fine bones in it. Tasty though. I'll cook the other half in a moment when I've done this. Can't forget the veg. Veg just seems like such a mission to cook sometimes. I think because it takes a while. But doing broccoli that way, especially the tender stem, comes out alright. This is my tea satchel. This has all manner of teas in it. This is my main bag of tea. This is my Yorkshire tea. This is what keeps me going. This is my my grab bag. If I was to have a scarper, this is the only thing I'd grab. My grab bag. And I have run out of honey as well. Ran out of honey the other day. I did have some honey and I had enough to be going on with, but I've created a medicinal elixir with it. Let me just show you this, because I'm now back to brown sugar for my tea, and have been for the previous 24 hours. So this is my medicinal elixir that I've done with straight from the hive honey, which is a raw, unpasteurised honey I bought off this lady at this farmer's market. So it's been roughly filtered just to take out like bees' wings and legs and bits of twigs and stuff. Apart from that, it's not been boiled or fine filtered or nothing. And in that, I've put in a whole bulb of garlic, which is an organic garlic I got from the same farmer's market. The honey was really thick to begin with. But it's now liquidized it a lot more, putting the garlic in, and it's under pressure as well. Like that lid, the pop on the lid is actually forced up. I don't know if you can sort of see the concave, not the concave, the opposite of concave nature of that lid, so I can't actually push that down. I got this idea off a person on YouTube. She's a Irish girl. She's only a young girl. She's probably in her 20s. She's got her own sort of flower garden, commercial flower garden that she does. Got a very strong Northern Irish accent, and she mentioned it in one of her little shorts. She does predominantly shorts. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I'm sure some of you may be familiar. She's quite popular. So I did it, and yeah, it's getting there. So I'm looking forward. But that's where the rest of my honey went. Never mind, I will get some more honey shortly. Back to me fish. Waffle interlude over. That's full of goodness, that plate. I've just realised, organic butter from a farm shop, Gog Magog farm shop. When I stayed at the barn, I went to the farm shop up the road in Wandlebury and bought some nice butter and milk as well that was in the glass jar. Fish from a fishmonger's on the market. these fine bones, you can actually eat these fine bones, no problem. They're not the type that get stuck in your throat, are they? Them ones are though. That's hot. Fish bones. Definitely. Oh shit! Here we go. See, this is the problem with the jet boil, especially the jet boil I've got. If it boils over, you're buggered. You can't do anything about it because jet boil. If you ever get to watch this live, if you ever watch this back on the jet boil zip, which is the one I've got. The on-off knob, just extend it beyond. Have an option to fold this out so it comes out beyond the boiling water that's coming down if you're dense enough to not catch your teeth on boiling over. So you can at least turn it off whilst it's streaming without burning your fingers. It's the only downside to the jet boil zip. The on-off is recessed under, so you do burn yourself when it's boiling over. Quite annoying, is that? Anyway. Well, I'm not going to go back through all these comments, looking for questions, pertinent queries, in-depth knowledge, anything like that. So if you've got anything to say you want me to respond to, you've got anything to ask, chuck it up there now. You got a couple of minutes, and then I'll go back a little while to who's that? Who do I know? Wait what? Yeah, wait what? Wait what 2? I'm going to go back to that there. So if I go down there, so now I've stopped it at wait what. Chuck your question, your query, or your demand, and from that point on, I will do my best to answer them for you. Because I'm sure there's going to be questions out there. With bloody hell, 190 of you watching at the moment. I'll have to let this simmer away nicely. And no questions about the feet, yeah? Because I know what was said on the boot and body reset with my feet. I will stay away from feet questions. That is providing you can hear me. I didn't know. I didn't actually inquire if I've got volume today. I don't need salt with smoked fish. I think fish sometimes it's salty enough, isn't it? I love the colour of this. If I had a car, a stains, can you see that? Look at the colour of that. That is a beautiful colour. It's just so, I don't know what you'd call it, but that colour of brewed tea. Everything going for it. How many of you are going out to buy kippers tonight? Well, let's see what we've come up with, shall we? Hello. First time you see my face today, eh? I'll show you my setup. So, you can see, I've got my bike down there. Bike's always a good anchor point for the other end of the tarp. Plus, you know, like that, if someone's nicking it whilst you're kipping it, because your tarp comes down on top of you. I need my glasses for this next bit. So you don't get old, people, if you can help it. Or keep up your vitamin A. We got lacked in the carrot department. Right, wait what? Wait what to? Not working part-time, he's travelling. Oh, okay, he's answering for me. Nice, good one. See, this is the bonus of having people that are regular to the channel. If someone here on the live or in a comment does ask a question that is, let me just flip this fish. Hold on. That does somebody else knows the answer to, then. One of the long-termers can answer it. I was going to say lifers then, but it sounds a bit dodgy, doesn't it? Dr. Tuna Handjob. Okay, he's asking if I'm still working. I am working at YouTube, yeah. This is my income now. This is my employment. This is my, for the moment, career. YouTube, entertaining you lot. Because I get an income from the adverts that YouTube annoy you with. Oh, there you go. Jam Adventures just answered that for me. I'm in Storming Teacup. Storming Teacup is asking which part of the UK I'm in. Between Cambridge and London, so I'm not sure whatever that geographical point is. Could I glue another knob on top of that one so it will stick out more? I probably could, but I think if it's sticking out more, then the idea with that is that there goes upside down and goes inside that for transportation, yeah? So it would stop that, which is why I suggested about something that folds out from it. You know, like these little things you get, you can fold them out. That was why, but yeah, good idea if it would not go inside, but would I live in a house if it was provided for me? Not full time, no. I would use it as a base and to store gear. And visit it once every 2 to 3 to 4 weeks to freshen up, reset. Well, Dr. Tuna Handjob is jumping in again there with another question. I'm on my way back down south, but I'm probably going to bypass London on my way to the south coast to jump on the ferry to either Calais or Santander. I have two options there. If I'm going to go to Santander, I'm going to have to wait until the next YouTube payment comes through, because I believe it's a couple of £100 to get from Calais to Santander. Or maybe they only leave from Southampton. I'll have to look into that. But if I'm just going over to Calais, I can get over for 30, 40, 50 quid, I believe. And if I go on the Eurotunnel, I can actually cadge a lift off someone that can chuck my bike on the back of a flat deck or a truck or a van and just be another body in the wagon, which doesn't cost anything apparently. James Johnson, thank you. Yes, glad I'm okay, I am. No, I was never into rugby league. The only way rugby league ever got on my radar was when Jonah used to play for them. And that was towards the end of his time as well. Then he switched over to Wales, didn't he? Diego Gomez. This is where it's at. The club. Yes, the club is what you want to escape. QPR. Yes, I think I answered that before, didn't I? Heading to Europe this year. Yes, defo, mate. That is defo on the books. Well, Danny Jack Jones jumping in there, answering for me. Nice one. Thailand Heron is asking, are you a Kiwi? Would you rather be homeless in Oz where you are? Well, all right, for starters, this is a common misconception. A Kiwi is somebody from New Zealand, yeah? An Aussie... I have to bite my tongue there. Aussies are whingers, yeah? So the Aussies are known as whingers. The New Zealanders are known as Kiwis. I'm not apologising if there's any Aussies in the thread here, because, well, hey, Kiwi, Australian, you know how it goes, yeah? You got the Pavlova and you stole Russell Crowe as well, so you get what's coming, Aussies. Volume is good, awesome. Big jar of raw honey waiting for, oh mate, yes. Which cemetery? Oh, okay. Kensal Green Cemetery. Oh, your name escapes me. I'm tempted to say Paul. User. This is a guy I met. I did a video from. I lived 3 days in Kensal Green Cemetery, and I did buy a jar of honey off this guy that had off user Q. I'm not going to go say we've got a bunch of numbers. Beautiful honey. Got chatting. He's a fellow Kiwi as well. Right. Okay. Well, maybe that's the reason why I need to bypass London to go and see you over in Kensal Green to get some more honey, possibly. James Johnson, will I be going to Yorks? Yorks is up north, sort of northeast of Leeds, isn't it? If that's what you mean. So the answer to that is no. It depends which part of Europe we're talking there, Alexander, right? Europe is just tourist for some part. But there's certain thing you've got to unfortunately go through Europe to get to different climes, shall we say. Has my family ever offered to put a roof over my head? Or do you prefer to stay as you are? Well, I do have a standing offer from a family member. But in my books, it's just not doable, yeah? I'm just deboning my chicken. So I'll swing you over whilst I just prep my chicken. I'll come back to these. I've locked the questions where they are. So I can come back to them. But I'm going to carry on with my fish at the moment because it's just finished cooking. Tell you, this tripod, this Of Human and Nature gave me, sent it to me from Germany, Of Human and Nature, a fellow named Hans. Some of you may have seen his wolf video. So this guy that sent me the tripod that sticks in it, I've got it stuck in the grill at the moment. And it's got all these different funky settings on it. You can position it anywhere. It's a lifesaver in a situation like this, when you've not really got anywhere to hang it on. Clean as a whistle. There's actually a bit of fish left on that, but I'll go back to that later if I need to. Fish is done. Very lovely. Right, where was I? I do need a slice of lemon, you're right. I don't know, summer Dr. Tuna hand job, I may not even be in London. My ideas are very loose and fluid, yeah? But at the moment I've got this thing bubbling there in my brain. Not in the heart, unfortunately. Not in the heart. If it was in the heart, it would be a different story, but it's bubbling in my brain at the moment. Some of you may make sense of that. Is to get down to Santander for springtime so I can do the north coast of Spain across and down to Portugal and then follow the Mediterranean coast along east until I say get to Monaco sort of area, then either go over to Africa, because that way I probably would have missed out the strife between Algeria and Libya. You can't travel along the north coast of Africa at the moment due to that situation between Libya and Algeria. So if I was to go to Africa from Spain or Portugal to say Morocco, then I'd be stopped on the north coast of Africa because of that situation. It would mean having to find a friendly local to get out on a boat and skirt those two, that border crossing, which you can't do at the moment. So the other option is stay sort of western countryside and go along the Mediterranean coast until I get to a point that I can skip the troubled spot in Africa and go back over to Africa into the Middle East. Or this is all providing, of course, that YouTube income is still a valid option. Otherwise, stay on the Mediterranean coast there and then shoot back up into Europe and go around the other way through Belgium, Germany, that way through those other countries and states to get to the Middle East. I've just got this pull to go to the Middle East to go and experience the countries like Iraq and Afghanistan that we're told to stay away from. There's a reason we're told to stay away from them, and it's not because of what we are told. From some of the people that I watch on YouTube that have travelled through these countries, they are the total opposite of what we are told they are like. So that's a very loose idea, loose plan that I've got going on at the moment. So that's the idea. No, I'll put the overs there. Well, I've got them on the paper bag at the moment. And it's not a food place, I don't think. So I don't think rats are an issue there. James Johnson. Oh, you when he said that. Who was it? Karina Ledwidge said that. I do normally burn the leftovers, yeah, but obviously being where I am, I can't have an open fire today. King of the Mountain and his family, Danny John, he's answering favourite Kippers. Fish looks decent. I'm having beef stew. You know, I've got beef stew on the Amazon wish list as these dehydrated meals, and I'm waiting to get a beef stew. that is, I'm looking forward to a beef stew if they ever turn up. Sorry guys, battery went flat. The phone just turned right off then. My apologies, I wasn't keeping my eye on that, and I know the battery on this phone's shit. I do apologise, I probably lost a few viewers there, but they may come back. And I've lost my point where I was as well, unfortunately. I'm trying to go back to the point I was before my phone turned off. Luckily, this gives me the option, the YouTube app gives me the option to resume the live feed, which is exactly what I did. Okay, I think I found it. No, looks like I've lost some of the questions too. Sorry guys, I can't pick up from where I left off there. My apologies. I should have been more on the ball with the battery percent. Heaven and who, Big Jonah. Yeah, you're familiar, huh? Such a shame, man. Such a shame. It's a long while ago now as well. He's one of the few that have put New Zealand rugby on the map back in the 90s, wasn't it? Born in Wanganui. We used to go fishing for kingies up in Wanganui off the wharf. Bit of Aussie bashing going on here. Wait, what? Always strong, Heaven hoo-hoo. Dr. Tuna Handjob again with the question, did I know Craig Kevin Bush, the Lion Man? Used to watch his shows. The Lion Man rings a bell. The Lion Man. The Lion Man rings a bell, but I don't recall the show. King of the Mountain, Kyle Piggott. Kyle Piggott is a troubled guy. No, he's not. No, totally disagree. And please, one thing I ask on this channel is you don't bash other people that put content on YouTube, yeah? Please don't do that. I'm pretty staunch about that. So, and they normally only get the one. Tommy Jenkins, have I got any advice for anyone potentially ending up on the street in the UK? Yeah, well, if you feel that already, then get prepared for it, yeah? Depending on the time of year, get some stuff collated together. Because getting help like that when you do end up on the street is pretty rare unless you've got some serious issues going on, whether it's drugs or alcohol or mental health issues. If you're not ticking boxes, you're at the back of the queue, yeah? So get yourself prepped if you can see it happening. That's the only thing I can tell you. Amanda White can smell my kippers, providing that's the only thing you can smell. Actually, no, I tell a lie, because I did have a good bath last night. Not last night, night before, when I stayed at the subscriber's place I visited to pick up some stuff. She very kindly let me have a bath. So I tell you, it was very hard to get in the bath. The water was so hot. Sweated like a pig for about 2 hours afterwards. I was dripping. It was delicious, I tell you. Temperature here at the moment, I can tell you exactly what the temperature is because I've got my probe out. I'm not even going to look at it myself because I'm just going to show you. Oh, hang on. 10.5, but that is downwind from the mess burner. Let me chuck it out there for a while and see what happens. It's always a bit warmer under a tarp. Thank you, Jam. Yes, defending Kyle Piggott. He is a nice guy, Kyle, from what I've never met him personally, but from what I've gathered off the videos and shorts that he does, he speaks from the heart, that fella. So please do not bash them. Kippers are not big here. Where's here? Somewhere in America, Julie? Deboning the chicken sounds a bit rude. Apparently Carl's down on the south coast as well, waiting to go to Europe, from what I gather from some of the shorts that he's done. So all going well, and I can't promise anything, but if I run into him, if I do go the Dover route, I might do a quick video with him if he's agreeable to that, and put him down as we've got an option as a YouTube creator to put a collaborator, and if I put his channel as a collaboration, then that video that I do with him, if it goes ahead, I'm not promising anything, it's just if it happens, yeah, comments will be open because it'll be my video, yeah. I do eat well, James. I'm quite conscious about what I eat. Okay, lots of comments coming up about Kyle and stuff. I'm just going to go past them because I've said what I've said. As long as there's no bashing of Kyle, bashing of anybody. Well, Kyle's a big subject there. I'm just going to shoot past them because, like I said, what, oh, there we go. Popcorn lovers saying my bike won't make it to the Middle East. I'd like to know why you think that, because anything that happens I can take care of it. A bike has very few things that can actually go, apart from the frame breaking, which is a possibility because it's an aluminium frame carrying that weight, so it doesn't have as much sort of flex as a steel frame. I think I've caught up to that spot. Julie, you're saying buffering. Yeah, my phone went flat and turned off, so I just managed to plug a battery in, and one of my many power banks. I've got 5 or 6 power banks that I try and keep charged whenever opportunity arises. Okay, so I'm actually back to it. There's a bit that's come up in the comments here. Welcome to the live chat. Remember to guard your privacy. So that's probably the bit where my phone turned off, I'd say. Kippers are so nice, smoked, cold smoked and then cooked up. Dutch coast, yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to do it in the time when I can do the Norcap, cycle up to Norcap through Norway. Apparently you only get about, I think it's 3 months of the year when the window's open to actually do it in any sort of reasonable weather. Blooms and Greens, wait what? That's the one, yes, that's her. That's the one with the honey. So you're familiar with her as well. Chloe, that's her name. That's exactly the one I was on about with the honey and garlic. This setup. So thanks to her, I can stay healthy. Thank you, Chloe. She's got a beautiful attitude on her. She doesn't take no shit, eh? I love that. I don't know whether that's the Irish in her or what. Dehydrated beef stew. Yes, that's the one. I've had the chicken korma. Korma's nice. The chicken korma's good. The sweet and sour chicken as well is another nice one. One thing I have noticed though with these dehydrated meals, even if you leave them for more than what the stipulated time is, some of the pieces of meat don't rehydrate properly. Like you can still feel that you're biting into something that's got a slight cardboard texture. So I always leave them there for longer than the stipulated time and stir them more often than what they say. Chris Lazarou, hello. He said hi. A bit scraggly, isn't it? Got a parting. Never had a beard parting before. Anyway. Cambridgeshire. Yeah, I suppose it is Cambridgeshire, isn't it? Between Cambridge and London. Oh, lost me space. I just went straight down the bottom then. Okay. Tom, hello. Chloe is funny, yes. Wickham Ways, hello, welcome. Oh, you do onion and garlic in the honey mixture, so there's quite a few there that are doing it. Nice one, good to know. James Johnson is warning everyone of the forest and the woods. There's nothing to be warned about the forest and the woods. The forest and the woods are a beautiful place to exist and be. I do need a steel frame, Robert, you're correct. Gives you a lot more flex and weight capacity, does a steel frame, over an aluminium one. Living in a van's too expensive, Mum. You think of all the crap you've got on top, yeah? You've got fuel, you've got maintenance, all sorts of... You've got to abide by certain laws and regulations, and it's just not me. You know, providing I live by this ethos, and I'm sure most of you know this by now, but I have this thing, and I've been getting it a lot lately as well. Especially, there's been a lot of hate come on the channel for some reason, only from very much a minority. I'm not sure why. Well, I do know why that is. I think it's because the channel's got a little bit more reach of late. It's got a little bit more, I hesitate to use the word, but a little bit more popular, the channel. So it's attracted people of a certain nature that like to project negativity, yeah? So, but I've got this thing, as long as I'm not physically or emotionally hurting anybody, as long as I'm not damaging any property, whether it's private property or commercial property or public property, then, and it sounds arrogant to say, but I can do, as long as I stay within that remit, then I can do what I don't want to say do what I want, but it's what it comes down to, yeah? It's, as long as you follow those things, then no harm done to anyone or anything, yeah? And that's how I've been living my life quite a while, and I've never been in trouble with the police. Oh, I have when I was younger, you know, but I think the things I have been in trouble with the police have never actually harmed anybody, never hurt anything or anyone, never damaged anything or anyone. It's all just personal stupidity shit. I got arrested for taking a leak in an alleyway once, and I said to the judge, I said, you know, I'm sure you know what it's like, Your Honour, when you've got to go, you've got to go. And that was after a night out on the town in New Zealand. I was early 20s, I think. Ernie slapped me with a fine and sent me on my way. There's been other various stupid things. I used to dabble in a bit of weed when I was younger, and I used to grow it a while as well when I was in my mid-20s to late 20s. I was a good gardener too. Had pretty good green fingers, but nothing that actually hurt anybody or caused harm to anything or anyone. I think it's a good thing to live by. Anyway, I don't know why I started that. Chris Hall is asking me how much I spend a week on food and travel. It varies a lot. It varies where you shop. I mean, a lot of my food comes from these like satellite stores, you know, the Tesco's and the Sainsbury's, the smaller local ones. If I'm passing a farm shop, I'll stop in there. Local market, which I've just recently done back in, where was I? Where was that market I visited? Somewhere in Mayfair, I think it was, just a few days ago. That's where I got my last jar of honey from. So yeah, it depends a lot. I mean, I don't like spending a lot on food, but I do like to eat. I don't like to eat a lot of shit, if you know what I mean. Like, I try and stay away from the processed and the sugars type stuff and eat whole food type stuff. So I can't put a figure on that. Travel is free. You know, I spend a bit on the train now and again. I think, what did it cost me to get to Cambridge? I think it was £23 from London to Cambridge one way. And I think it was the same for my ticket on the way back as well, but I only used half the ticket, didn't I? Because I had to get off the train. I don't know why, I've just had this overwhelming feeling to get off the train. I was all hot and sweaty and it was horrible. Gotta go, gotta go. Wickham Ways, hello again. Oh, it looks like I'm back to, it looks like I've gone through these questions. They should have a timestamp on these questions. There you go, YouTube, if you're watching. Put a timestamp on the questions. Cannock Chase, I've heard of that. Tabitha's tags and insurance too, yes. Yeah, King of the Mountain understands about the van. I did fix the, well I didn't fix the bike, no, Steve from S&G Cycles in Cambridge fixed the bike for me. Very nice of him to do that. Never feed a troll. No, you don't feed a troll. Just give all the food to me. You see my intense expression here as I'm going back down through the comment section. Do I know Paul Mann? He's got a YouTube channel and he lives in the woods. No. What's his YouTube name? That's Dr. Tuna Handjob again. You're coming up a lot there, fella. You must be asking pertinent questions or queries. Paul Mann. Don't know. Free Man on the Land. Yes, that's me and many others shortly, I would say. I don't wear a watch, but somebody sent me a watch. I need to get a battery for it. It's like a just a bog standard watch, quite smart looking. It was in the same person that sent me the sent me these things. Sent me a watch, and also they sent me an email and asked me if I need anything. And there was a few things they mentioned, and I was like, oh, those drink sachets would be well. I did mention this earlier, but they're a real good top up for your macro and your vitamins and stuff like that. But in the parcel they sent that I picked up in Cambridge, they sent a load of these neck warmers, buffs, yeah, like a fabric thing you can put on. I'm a big fan of these because they stop drafts from going up your sleeves. I wear them all the time. I've got my ones around somewhere, but they go on, you know, your wrist, stop your draft going up, put them around your neck. I think I've got one on at the moment. The one I've got on my neck though, it's a merino one. Really nice is that one. Keeps me nice and cozy. So they sent me a watch as well, which I need to get a battery for. I can, Potty John, get a ferry from, there's several places around the UK I can get a ferry from. The Green Candle, thank you. Person there loves my videos. Whoever in the chat loves my videos, don't forget to give this a thumbs up. We're up to 95 at the moment. 95 thumbs up. Can we break the 100 in the next 5 seconds? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 101. 101 on 5. Well done, people. Yeah, the neck warmers, they're such a good piece of kit. I've got a I've got like a shamag, a scarf thing as well. Someone tried to make a political component out of it the other day, saying it was Palestinian, but no, it's just, to me, it's just a scarf. Oh, tell you, cup of tea. Can't go wrong with a decent cup of tea. How I do what, James Johnson? What, live like this? It's quite easy when you get in it. Yeah, quite easy. There's a lot you have to give up. I filmed this little bit actually when I was on my way to Bonnie's place the other day. Just the subscriber up in Cambridge, past Cambridge. I had this moment when I recorded that Highway of Fields, the little, I don't know how many of you have seen that actually. It's the last short that I put up. Got Pink Floyd playing in the background. how many here have seen that short of me listening to Pink Floyd and giving it a bit of this on the highway? But I also recorded this other bit as well, and it was just after this happened, and it was something along the lines of, once you've given up everything that you hold, then you've got, oh, where did I say? I've got it recorded, I should just play it back. When you've given up everything, you've attained everything, yeah? I loved it. It's one of these things. See, this is where recording stuff comes in handy, because now if I'm trying to recall it, you can't remember what it is. You're going to get a sneak peek here, because I was going to put this on Patreon and make it a Patreon only thing, but for all 173 of you watching this, minus the bots, so let's say 120 of you, proper humans, then this is what is going to go on Patreon. This is the sort of stuff that I put on Patreon. Let me see if I can find it. You know, I've just realised something. I really don't have anything. I've given everything up. You know what I've gained? By giving everything up, I've gained everything that's worthwhile. If you give everything up, you gain everything that you're meant to. Raw, unedited footage from the road, that. I'm going to play that again. You know, I've just realised something. I really don't have anything. I've given everything up. You know what I've gained? By giving everything up, I've gained everything that's worthwhile. If you give everything up, you gain everything that you're meant to. Yeah, and I've not done anything with that footage yet. It's just sat on the camera. Anyway, I could show you a few more clips on there that I just take in the moment. I reckon there's probably half of the little clips that I take, half of the footage that I record doesn't actually end up going anywhere, which is one of the reasons I put Patreon up, why I created the Patreon, because that sort of stuff is not my usual type of content, and I can't flood my shorts feed with stuff like that either, because it will upset the algorithm for the long form. It's all technical when you get behind the scenes. I can do a short that then funnels people off to a long form, that's not an issue, but that doesn't have anything to do with any of the long form that I've got on there. So things like that, the little short clips, the little just being in the moment, that's what I put on, what I've started to put on Patreon now. So I hope there's a few of you at least in there that understood that that moment on the highway there that I had. Loving some of these comments, man. You know, regardless of the income that I get off YouTube at the moment, I've said it before, it's not a lot, you know, it's enough to sustain this lifestyle that I've got going on. Regardless of that sort of income, I think this to and fro, even though it's through one of these abominable things that I'm looking at the moment, but regardless of that income, this interaction, this to and fro of little sentences and feelings and thoughts, that's worth a shitload more in my book. What's this about hair? That caught my attention then. Hair is overrated. I shaved mine off. You talking about your head hair there, Jinky? Jinky to go to. Are you talking you shave your head hair off? Because I'm about to tell you a story at the moment. Come on, Jenky, don't be shy. Yes, okay, right. I don't know what the politically correct, it doesn't matter what the politically correct term is, I'm just going to call them what they are. The American Indians, the original inhabitants of the states of what is now known as America, the original inhabitants of that land, when they got drafted in the Vietnam War, they were allowed to keep their long hair. They didn't have to go through the process of getting the buzz cut, the short back and sides that every vet that went, every conscript in the Vietnam War got, because they were predominantly inscripted for their tracking ability through the jungle, for their tracking ability, and it was part of the deal that if they were to become trackers, then they got to keep the hair, because to the American Indian, they thought, rightly so, that their hair is an extension of their soul, and to lose their hair, the locks that they had, and you know how this is why they never got the haircut, because it was part of them, part of their being, part of their makeup. They would lose access to that part of the soul that gave them their ability to exist how they did. So they were exempt from getting the haircut, and I believe that to some extent. Whenever I go and get my haircut, I never leave my offcuts on the floor of the barber shop that I get it cut. I always take it with me, and I don't know why, but I just have this, it's a feeling. I've not read it anywhere. It's just something I feel is right to do, and I will burn it. I will burn it under the moon. I don't know why I do that. It just feels like the right thing to do. And I'll say some things quietly to myself as I do it. Keep Me Level knows the score there. Hair is part of your song. Certainly is. Where's my tea? Tea's part of your soul too. You can't forget the cup of tea. What did I say? I saw the word lonely then. Before I flipped past it. Where did I see it? Was I imagining it? Maybe I was imagining it. M. McHale, powering my devices. I've got 5 or 6 power banks that are about 10,000 milliamp each. They last me the good part of 4 or 5 days till I need to charge them all again. Oh, here we go. Tabiathus 1554. She says, or he says, I feel alone, not lonely. YouTube shows me I'm not. Many people are free thinking and value soulful things. Oh, there you go. Yeah, see, we can connect even through one of these stupid screen things that are going on here. There is connections to be made. You're welcome at any time, Tabitha. Jam, thank you for answering that. Maker, MK30123, how did I become homeless? This comes up a hell of a lot, actually. Comes up a lot, and I've always shied away from the real reason of why I became homeless. And I keep meaning to do a video on it, but I just don't see the value in saying why. I just don't think the video would... The Q&A videos as a main thing doesn't really do too well with the algorithm. And I have answered it in a post as well, but it does come up a lot. And there is a post on the community pages too about this. But I was in full-time employment working for a company in London. I had a room in a flat on the 3rd or 4th floor in the middle of a box unit of units. Paying my dues each month, getting paid once a week from the place I used to work at. But I was paying cash to the landlord. No contract signed, it was just a friend of a friend that said, yep, I've got a room, you can come and stay. Sweet, okay. Paying £850 a month for a room that you can touch the the walls when you stretch out. And things didn't work out after several months. It came to an end, and he basically said, look, you're going to have to move out. Didn't have a leg to stand on, there was no contract, and I was paying cash. So I moved out. Didn't have anywhere to go. All my stuff went into storage, and I was still working for a month or two after, until work decided, I mean, I was carrying a bag with me with my stuff that I needed to exist from day to day on my shoulder each day. The rest of my stuff was in lockup, and so I started to turn up to work and leave a bag there with obviously far too much stuff for a day thing. They found out through the grapevine, because my landlord that I was paying cash to was mates with some people at work as well, and they must have cottoned on that I was now technically homeless, and they got it in their head that they didn't want a smelly homeless person working for them. And there was a few attempts to get rid of me, and one of the attempts they were successful at. They manufactured a way. How it came about was, I made a mistake at work, which I owned up to on the spot, and they said, look, because the team leader was away on holiday for a week, but carry on working, and when this person gets back, we'll call you in when we'll have a meeting about it. And I thought about that for a minute, and I said, look, I don't really think that's fair for me to be here if this is a possibility that my future employment's at stake. So I'm going to step back from my role, and I will take a holiday for a week until this team leader gets back, and then I'll come back in and we'll have the meeting. I don't want to carry on working should what I have done deemed a dismissible offence, yeah? Maybe I was being too righteous, I don't know. But that's where I was at the time in my head. So the week came and went, and I got called back into work for the meeting. And the reason they gave for terminating me on the spot was because I decided to take the week off whilst I was waiting for this person to come back, so I basically handed them the reason on a plate, yeah? The reason they manufactured it, oh, we don't need to use that. No, I'm imagining this, but you know, I'm making that up. That's the reason they used to terminate, was because I decided to take a week off till this person came back, and basically they showed all their cards on the table at that stage, and it was like, oh, well, you're just looking for an excuse, you know? And all the ones prior to that hadn't worked, so this one came up and they jumped on it and they used that. And then I started sleeping rough, staying in the old hostel when I could afford it. I signed on initially and started getting the benefit. That came to an end. Not wanting to front up every 2 weeks. Then I got a part-time job. I had a couple of part-time jobs there throughout that time. The last part-time job I had was paying me cash, was the street kitchen one, and I'd not been on the benefit for a long while at this stage, and that's when someone suggested, and in that time frame as well, I embraced being homeless and started to thrive at it. And that's when someone said, you should record some of the things you do, some of the places you stay, record it and chuck it on YouTube, you never know. And it was the one that I did back in the day about finding a safe place to kip. That's the one that got the channel noticed back in September last year, and that really cemented the channel and got me monetized. And I'm now coming up to, I think, the end of this month, I think it's going to be my 4th payment off YouTube. Like I said, it's not a lot of money, it's enough to get me by with how I live at the moment, but it's given me so much freedom. I've managed to travel the length and back again of the UK. I sustained myself quite well in London there for a couple of months after all this took off. You know, and I check into a hotel once in a while, just to refresh, reset, keep myself in decent gear to be comfortable. You know, I'm in my bedroll here. I don't know how many of you have seen my bedroll video, my sleep system, especially my winter one, which I did back in the end of December. I've got 2 medium weight sleeping bags and a bivy bag from Kip. I've also got, which I've not been using because it's just been too warm lately, a fleece sleeping bag liner, which I'm using as a blanket during the day just to throw over me as I'm sitting on the outside of my sleeping bag. It keeps me comfortable. The only bad time, the only time when I'm uncomfortable is when I've found a place to kip, like I did last night. I found this place. And it's when I stop that movement. Because being on the bike, you're moving through the day. And that keeps the chill at bay. Keeping on the bike keeps the chill at bay because you're moving, you're being physical, yeah? It's probably the downfall of a lot of people when they feel the cold. They're not moving. They've either got stagnant jobs or, you know, they're just stationary a lot of the time. So it's that from when you stop and you set up camp to when I get in my sleeping bag. That's when the uncomfortable part is, but it doesn't last long. And getting in the sleeping bag and getting a brew on, that's a welcome time, is that? It really is a welcome time. And food's not an issue. There's a lot of people that come on the channel in the comments and say things about my diet, but they only really see one meal in a handful of others that I eat. They don't see, I don't film what I eat during the day, you know, I'm not filming 24/7. As much as I think that would be quite awesome to do, is to just do a Big Brother style 24/7 live streaming feed from a drone camera following me the whole time. Think, what was that guy's name that did that movie, Truman Show? Drink that, yeah? I think that would make bloody good content, that. It's not doable though when you think of the amount of power that's needed to do that and sustain that. But yeah, no, they only see a fraction of what I eat. So it's not so bad. I'm never unhappy, I'm never depressed. I could say that with conviction too. I never get depressed and I never really get unhappy. I get uncomfortable, you know, when it's windy and I'm not sheltered. You do feel uncomfortable, but you've got to get comfortable with feeling uncomfortable, because it does happen, and I'm sure it happens inside as well. You know, there's times when all the bills come through the door, in your email nowadays, isn't it? Not through the door, but when the bills turn up, you have that uncomfortable feeling. It's like, fucking hell, you know? I don't get that. I get that feeling when the wind creeps in. You're sheltered from that. So it's a trade-off. Trading one uncomfortableness for another uncomfortableness. You can't escape being uncomfortable. It happens no matter where you are or how you decide to exist. The uncomfortable aspect of this existence is always there, whether you're inside a house, sat on a lazy boy, or perched on a couple of pallets, on a thermal roll, sitting on top of your sleep system. Uncomfortableness is always there. You can stay cozy. It's not so bad. And it doesn't cost as much to live this way either. It really doesn't. Providing you've got the means to have a decent hot brew. That is the fixer of all ailments, is a decent hot brew on the go at any time. and good quality whole milk, which I don't have at the moment. I've got a plastic bottle from the supermarket. Whenever you can find milk in a glass bottle from a farm shop, jump on it. I'll carry on with that question feed in a moment. What are we getting up to? An hour and a half. Bloody hell. That was a moment I had there, wasn't it? It's going to be an interesting comment feed, is this, when I go back through it. What did Silas say that no name is saying? Well said, Silas. Let me go back to that. That's where I'll start from. Silas Wild. He's just told us why he got fired. Having a week off probably didn't help, and sounds like he wanted to leave anyway. No, that's not true. You don't all have to agree that he was unfairly dismissed. I was unfairly dismissed, I know that, but I didn't want to leave. I loved that job. It was a beautiful job. I really did enjoy doing that job. And it involved cycling as well. I used to cycle every day, that job. But the mistake that led me to approaching them in the first place, which they said, look, we'll wait until the team leader gets back off holiday before we... Like I said, maybe I was being too righteous when I said, look, I don't feel right carrying on working. We'll wait till they get back and I'll come back and I'll just take a week's holiday. But anyway, Silas, thank you for trying. Comfortably Numb. It's another brilliant Pink Floyd song. Amanda White, that feeling. I'm assuming that's a good feeling. I don't know what feeling you're on about, but I'm going to assume that it was a good feeling. It's the only feelings that should be had. I don't know, Tom, if I will change the channel name. I really don't know. I think I should, but it's going to upset a lot of different areas if I do change the channel name. As much as I'd like to change it, I've got a few contenders, but I just know it's going to cause a dip. And whether that dip recovers or not, I don't know. I only have one coffee a day emitter, and it's a freeze-dried brewed coffee, fresh ground stuff that I buy. It's really nice for it, just like a proper fresh coffee. Rob Cotton, I couldn't go more than a day or two without washing properly. I'm assuming you mean shower or bath, which is, yeah, fair. I mean, I would love to have a hot shower every day, but having something all the time takes away the special feeling of it. When I do have a shower, a proper hot shower, when I get the chance, oh, I tell you, there's nothing like it. That first stream of hot, fresh water rolling down your body. And in the in-between times, I was crouched out, when was it? After the hosepipe incident where I got the brain freeze at that industrial research facility that I stayed at. After then, prior to having the bath at the supporters' place the other night, I was crouched under my tarp with this full of hot water that I was dipping in. I was in Kensington Gardens actually, and I was just wetting a cloth, and I was naked under my tarp, and I'm just washing all the important bits, wiping down, no soap, just hot water on the flannel, and then drying myself off with my towel, and that's the next best thing, you know, takes care of the important bits. But it's not like standing under a shower. Chris Hall, that noise, some sort of compressor there where I'm at, the industrial place I'm at. They must have to keep some lines pressurised because it keeps kicking in every few minutes. Proper tea there, Spike. Yorkshire tea, the only tea there is. Mark Bellew, hello. Julie, hello. James Johnson, clap. Show us the process for the tea. Well, if you're here long enough, I might have to put another brew on. At the moment, I can show you the colour that God made, or the source. That is the colour of perfection. And this taste of a... I can't say that. Not on the internet. But it's a nice taste. I'm warm enough. Yeah, at the moment. Well, in fact, I've got the temperature probe here sitting outside. I mean, surprising to say we're in winter. I know that's probably coming through backwards, isn't it, for you guys? But that's 9.7 degrees. Which... that's balmy in my book, 9.7. Hello, Paul. Jake here. Hello, brother. I'm in Aussie. I just got here. I'm flicking past a few now. Always loads there. Yeah, a lot of people suggest the gym memberships, you know, and they're a good idea. And I am a member of the gym as well in London, but I haven't really used them that much. There's a disabled toilet with a shower at Paddington Station, so I can take all my bike and my belongings, roll it straight into the disability bit. And I know if I go at a certain time of the day and a certain day of the week, then you do have a lot less chance of disabled people commuting, which takes down the possibility of me using time in there whilst somebody's waiting that needs it. Yeah? And I know Sundays are good for that, because Sunday's the day of rest and they don't usually get appointments around the place to have to go and commute. Have we got trolls in there, Jake? What are they saying? I'm missing the troll ones. You know, you guys can highlight them, and I don't know if you can thumbs down comment. I might be making that up actually. T-porn, yes. Hey, T-porn. We're missing a treat there. Is that a thing on Pornhub? Is it? T-porn. What would that be? Be before? I can't say that word either. See, there's so much you get in trouble for these days. And if I wasn't beholden to the YouTube gods, this channel would be a whole different kettle of fish in the verbal department, I tell you. Much like my political views, which I've been told not to mention. It does seem mild, Sakaya, yeah, you're right. I don't know what the deal is with that. Faithful Journals, welcome, Gillian. Hope you're well. Yeah, you're an hour and a half late to the party there, love, though. Come on. You've missed all the good stuff. I'm just winding down. I'm getting silly. Mark Bellow, yes, thank you, appreciate that. Is it pig-headed to think that I am, as well? I'm just sweeping through the comments at the moment. Oh, Western Australia, I've got an auntie in Perth there, Jonathan. And my cousin as well is in Perth. He belongs to the Perth Police Force, actually. But he's after the, they do the money laundering side of things there. So he's probably stashing a bit aside. Thingy my bob. Hello. I think a troll is a hater, isn't it? Is that the definition of a troll? When they say things against the grain. Mr. Who the Fox that has said, why don't I go up to Scotland? I've been getting that a lot over the last couple of weeks. A lot of people saying I should head to Scotland, but these people have not got the head screwed on, because it's the middle of winter, you know, and Scotland's probably the worst place I want to be. But then saying that in the height of summer, you've got the midgy problem, don't you? Who's saying that? Dragon Klein 6924. Thanks for sharing my reflections. My life, the life you lead feels to us like a wild, courageous adventure. Something we watch with awe and excitement, yet for you it is simply the rhythm of your everyday. Are we a novelist by any chance? Because that reads really well. Actually, I'm seeing a hyphen in there as well. Have you got AI to write that? Because I only know of AI that puts hyphens in the middle of a sentence like that. I've just actually... You just reminded me, Gillian, then when you said that. We'll see how you work, see how you perform. Yeah, Jake, I don't take that. You know what you mentioned there, yeah? I mean, they can abuse me all they want, but if they start ganging up on other subscribers and other supporters, then that's when I sort of draw the line. And I will... I haven't banned... Actually, I went through... I don't know how many of you are familiar with the latest post that I did in regards to a certain person that commented on my latest video, I think it was. It might have been a post in regards to the video about him reporting me to YouTube for illegal activity by way of trespass and breaking and entering and all that sort of jazz. There was a bit of hate and ganging up with certain phrases and words towards this particular person, and I have this morning gone through that comment thread basically for my own protection, because I do know that if the filters that YouTube now use via artificial intelligence pick up on any of those phrases, which I'm sure they may have done already, probably works like that, then it would flag my channel for further investigation. So I have gone through and removed, especially when it's targeted personally towards a person. There was one person in particular that said, oh, if you want, I can track his IP and we can go around and find him, and you know, that is just like a big no-no in the personal harassment clause of the new policies that came out for YouTube creators at the beginning of 26. So I have physically removed a few of those comments, and even some of the people that were persistent as well I've had to sort of shadow ban from the channel. What that means is if these people post comments, they can still see the channel, they can still see the comments, they can still post comments, but it's not seen by anybody else, even myself. So everything they say and do on the channel is, for all intents and purposes, hidden. And I've not done that before. I think I've done it with one, maybe two people prior to this, back at the beginning. And that's purely just for self-preservation reasons I've done that. Because, I mean, if I lose this channel due to some words that were said and I've let lie, not that they've come from my mouth, but because I've provided the platform for them to be there, for those words to exist, then it's me that will lose out ultimately. So it was purely for selfish reasons, but I believe selfish reasons that were valid. If you want to put it down plain as if a hater was saying it, that's what they'd say. Yeah, oh, you've done that for selfish reasons. Yeah, I have. Yeah, you're right, and I'm not ashamed to admit that. Yeah, that's exactly what I've done, Tom. I've hid them basically from other people and myself. Yeah, it's not so much hurty words, Apex. It's more the constant hurty words. Yeah, it's it was just and even this apparent barrister jumped in on the debate and said a few truths as well, which I paid attention to, because what that apparent barrister said did strike a few chords in the truth department. Yeah, so I took that on board, and I even did a bit of googling myself on the new policies that they've enacted, just to sort of compare what was pointed out in the comment section to what was in the policies. The new YouTube policies and for YouTube creators changed at the beginning of this year. And yeah, some of them, if they got, I'm sure it's been flagged already, you know, but I think the fact that it has been flagged and that I've taken action to remove them can only go in my favour. Like, they're going to see that and they're going to, oh, there's no point pursuing this then, you know, it's already been taken care of by the channel owner. So, yeah, Jake, well spotted. Has she caught up? Has she realised? Oh, okay, yeah, she's got a highlighted name now. Maybe she doesn't know herself. Gillian, you do know you're a mod now, yeah? You reminded me. I did have one mod earlier, but I've not actually seen her for a long while. Her name was Charlotte. She disappeared at the end of last year. She was quite a big supporter of the channel there. I suppose long-termers drop off, don't they? We're up to 1 hour 50. So I think on the 2 hour mark, I'm going to call it. I'm going to cut the feed, as it were, because I've eaten, I've drank tea and I've waffled. And I want to go and brush my teeth. I'll have a bit of a wash, have a bit of a tidy up, sort this crap out, ditch my fish remnants somewhere. He was mentioning whiskey. Whiskey's a horrible drink. If you're going to drink cognac or brandy, I think it's the same thing, isn't it? Cognac and brandy. One's just a French name for brandy, I believe. I'm not sure. Anybody correct me on that? Waffling is soul medicine. You are correct. Voting for no politics apex. I got bollocked the last time politics came in the feed. My plan for the day, Spudhead, like I just said, my plan for the day is I'm going to tidy up my surroundings here, have an have a sort out, maybe go for a wee, have a bit of a wash, brush my teeth, because I can feel bits of fish stuck between my teeth there. I might open the window, stop raining, have a look out. I might even ever go for a walk over the supermarket and get some snacks. I think I could probably leave all this in situ. Might do that actually. Might go and get some snacks. Eat a bit of shit for once. And then get unconscious with a sugar rush. And have a bit of a snooze. A diabetic coma. Flame up the Drambuie. I used to drink flaming chartreuse in the clubs in New Zealand. Set the chartreuse on fire and drink that back. That was a harsh drink. And then we had this other one called a gas chamber. And it was ouzo that you put in a shot glass and you set fire to the ouzo on top of the shot glass, and you get a pint glass and you put that over the top. You pull the pint glass off, down the shot of ouzo, and then breathe in the carbon dioxide from the pint glass when the flame had burnt out the oxygen. Gay bearded homosexual, staying off the grid. Okay, well, I dare say that Gillian's going to have her wicked way with you, boy, for saying that, but that's totally in Gillian's hands. Let's see if she's on the ball, shall we? Didn't take long. 600 seconds you got time out, so that means you can probably still hear me. It reminds me of being sent to the principal's office, that does, Gillian. I remember being sent to the principal's office. We left class once. I was in Form 2, which is New Zealand. I would have been, I think I was 11 or 12 in Form 2. And the teacher had to go and pick up some supplies from somewhere, another classroom, so the classroom was left without, classroom was left leaderless. And me and my mate went next door to the next door class to just go and mess around and have a play. And we got caught. So we had to stand out in the cloakroom, and the teacher came out. What was his name? Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. I think it was Mr. Ainsworth. Might have been Mr. Thompson. Ah, Mr. Thompson. Mr. Thompson, yeah. Teacher came out in the cloakroom and he had this leather strap. And the leather strap was about yay wide, probably 1.5 foot long. And it was about 4 mil thick. Rough leather strap. Out with your hand. And it was 6 slaps on that hand and 6 on that hand. And no holding back then. It was... Oh, it didn't half sting. Oh, it was painful. The only bonus though is that we didn't have you can't write after then because you can't use your hand for quite a while because it's all swollen and messy. So you get out of classwork for the rest of the day, don't you? Because you can't use a pen. Oh, madness, man. I can understand them getting rid of the cane, but they should have some form of I'm not even going to carry on this thought because there's going to be those of you out there that don't think that. Is there another one you just timed out there, Gillian? What did they say? Oh, there's another one. 2 more. There must be quite a few coming through, huh? What's catsploitation calling a sad specimen? Depends who they're on about. Three minutes and 10 seconds left and I'm out of here. Keep the vids coming, defo. So anyway, for those of you that are left, there's 160 of you left. I'm going to do my wind down spiel here. For those of you that have stayed the course. So, for those that don't know, I've got my winter series going on. I will just preface this, but I am legitimately homeless. I legitimately live outside 24/7, yeah? But I do take myself off to a hotel every 2 or 3 weeks, just for a night or two of refreshment, reset, get everything sorted, yeah? So my winter series is going on. There is a playlist on my channel pages which lists all 11 episodes so far. And there's also all the videos before then as well. If you want to support the channel, I've got the Patreon going where you'll get little snippets like I showed you before on my camera. That's what I use to film everything with. I have just bought a new mic system that I dropped the other day and broke, but it still works, so that's all right. So you get little snippets like that are turning up on Patreon. Patreon is, I think it's $6.99 a month. For all the extra stuff that just goes towards supporting me doing this on top of what YouTube pay me. There's other ways of support as well if you feel the need. There's it's all in the bio anyway, but Patreon is the big thing I'm pushing at the moment because you actually get something for your help in, you know, instead of just donating willy-nilly to buy me a coffee or something, you actually get something in return with Patreon. But the winter series, yeah, for those of you that have not caught it, day one took off like a madman. I think that's up to like 350,000 views at the moment, day one. That video alone got me another 10,000 subs and so much more recognition, you know, but everyone since then as well. There's been a few that have done 30, 40,000 views. It's a good watch. Even I enjoy watching my odd one on occasion, which I think speaks volumes. I think if you enjoy watching your own stuff when you've dicked around doing the editing and fleshing out of everything, that says a lot to me anyway, if I enjoy watching my own stuff. And quite often when it goes live on the channel, I'll sit back and I'll watch it as a punter, you know, just to see how it comes across and what advert regularity there is as well with the adverts. One thing I like to keep on top of, because what the adverts are and how often they are usually dictate how much that video is going to earn in the way of ad revenue. And it does vary a lot. It varies a lot, and it varies to the point that it's not the amount of views, which is it's a very much a common misconception, the amount of views. it's the quality of the view is what it comes down to. So it's how long your AVD is, which is your average view duration, the interaction with the video, so the amount of likes it gets, the amount of shares it gets, the amount of hypes it gets. The hypes push it further. The comment section as well, the amount of comments. And you can, the weird thing, like there's a real bad bot situation on YouTube at the moment, these automated profiles, yeah? I can look at the analytics of one of my videos and I'm just going to make up some figures here. So I say it's got 1,000 views and 100 comments and 100 likes and X amount of hypes, yeah? And I can look at that again later or the next day and it might be down to say 800 views and 50 comments and 20 likes, because YouTube every now and again they'll go through and they'll remove what they know are fake views and fake comments from bots, basically. So they have a cleanup of all the bot activity, and it takes away the initial interaction with your content that you've released. It's weird the way, I mean, I can understand why they do it, but you get all excited sometimes. You think, oh, this video is doing well, but then YouTube will do the sweep and you lose a certain percentage of interest and interaction with that video. So yeah, one of the biggest things you can do is when, and not just my content, anybody's content that you watch on YouTube, and it takes not even a second to do. When you start watching that video and you've realized it's actually not bad, I'm enjoying watching this, click that thumbs up, give it a like, yeah, and just give it a comment. It doesn't have to be anything, just brilliant video. Give it a quick comment, and if it really touches you, give it a share to your Facebook group or to your Facebook page or your WhatsApp group. You know, click the share button, copy the link, and paste it wherever you like. It's that counts more than buying a coffee on the buy a coffee. You know, it really does. It speaks volumes, that does, and it does count to a lot as well when it comes to the if you see the back page of the analytics that we've got access to, the amount of variables that are there. I'm a bit of a geek when it comes to data, and I have got lost in it, and I've got quite involved in the data that's available to the point where I've had to go, no, don't even go down that rabbit hole, because you can get lost in it. You know, there was a lot, I spent a fair bit of time at the beginning going back and forth with AI, giving it all my analytics and saying, what can I do with this, what can I, and it's just like, you know, at the end of the day, it's you guys that make the difference. It's your interaction with the video, not the amount of views. It's not the amount of views. It's not your amount of subscribers either. You know, you can have a channel that's got 3 million subscribers, but if they're putting videos out that have got a shitload of views, but the interaction with those views is very minimal, it doesn't count for anything. You know, I'd rather have a channel with the minimum subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, but every one of those 1,000 people watches the video from start to finish, likes it, shares it, hypes it, and comments on it. That counts for more than a channel with 3 million subs. So it's not all black and white, it really isn't. And that speaks a lot more and does a lot more for the channel as well. That's my ending spiel. All that said, check out Patreon, check out the winter series and watch it from start to finish. Love you all, appreciate every single one of you. We'll see you on the next one. Keep an eye out Sunday night, there's a good one dropping, 6 o'clock Sunday night, keep your eyes open. See you later people, thank you.